The drama in The Young and the Restless continues to escalate as Michael Baldwin finds himself in the middle of a deadly plot orchestrated by none other than Victor Newman. The tension between Victor and Michael has been brewing for some time, and now, it appears that the ruthless Victor is finally taking drastic measures to remove Michael from the picture once and for all. Victor's deadly plot. Victor Newman, always a master manipulator, sees Michael as a potential threat. Despite their years of loyalty, Victor is growing increasingly paranoid about Michael's intentions. Fearing that Michael might one day turn on him and become the very thing that could destroy everything Victor has worked for, he decides to take matters into his own hands. In a chilling twist, Victor sets a plan into motion to eliminate Michael, knowing that his former ally has grown too unpredictable and dangerous. The plot is cold and calculated, a reflection of Victor's darker side. He has no qualms about taking out those who no longer serve his interests, and Michael's growing doubts about Victor's methods make him the perfect target for Victor's wrath. The accident that Michael experiences is no mere coincidence, it's part of Victor's scheme to silence him permanently. The car crash, as Michael drives to meet Jack Abbott, with his mind likely swirling with thoughts of his last-ditch effort to warn Jack about Victor, the unthinkable happens. Michael's car crashes violently into a cliffside, and the explosion that follows leaves onlookers believing that Michael is dead. The crash scene is chaotic, with smoke billowing from the wreckage and emergency responders rushing to the scene. The sight of Michael's bloodied face and unconscious body only strengthens the belief that he has succumbed to the crash. The police arrive quickly, and they manage to pull Michael from the wreckage just in time. But even as the emergency medical teams work to stabilize him, the extent of his injuries is severe. His face is barely recognizable, and his life hangs in the balance. In those terrifying moments, it's unclear whether Michael will survive, and the question looms, was this an accident, or was it a deliberate attempt on his life orchestrated by Victor? Lauren's shock and realization. As the news of Michael's accident reaches Lauren, she is immediately struck with horror. Her first thought is that this could very well be a trap set by Victor. The idea that Victor would go as far as to kill Michael, or at least try to, doesn't seem beyond him. After all, Victor is a man who has shown time and time again that he's willing to sacrifice anyone who stands in his way. Lauren, torn between fear for Michael's life and her growing distrust of Victor, becomes frantic. She knows that Victor is capable of anything, and the thought that he could have masterminded Michael's near-death experience sends her into a tailspin. In a state of panic, Lauren realizes that she must now protect Michael, not only from the physical harm he's just endured but also from the dangerous web Victor has spun around him. Michael's fight for survival. Despite the harrowing nature of his injuries, Michael's will to survive is stronger than ever. As he lies unconscious in the emergency room, his body battered and broken, it's his determination to keep fighting that keeps him alive. Michael's ability to survive such a traumatic event is a testament to his resilience and his deep love for his family, especially Lauren. In the hospital, as doctors work tirelessly to save him, the tension continues to rise. Michael is in critical condition, but the hope of his survival keeps those who care for him on edge. The moment his family and friends learn the full extent of his injuries, they are thrust into a whirlwind of emotions. Jack and Billy Abbott arrive at the hospital, their faces etched with concern and disbelief. The message Michael sent to Jack, his final attempt to reach out for help, resonates deeply with both men. They now face the grim reality that their friend and loved one may not make it, and they must prepare for the worst. Jack and Billy's role in the fallout. As Michael's life hangs in the balance, Jack and Billy become more determined than ever to uncover the truth behind the crash. While Jack has always been a loyal friend to Michael, he also knows the importance of standing up to Victor when necessary. With Michael's life now in danger, Jack must find a way to confront Victor and hold him accountable for his actions. Billy, too, is concerned. The Abbott brothers have always had a complicated relationship with Victor, but with Michael now potentially caught in the crossfire, they both realize that they can't let Victor's manipulation continue unchecked. However, the question remains, how far will Jack and Billy go to expose Victor? And what risks will they take to protect Michael from the wrath of the Newman patriarch? The emotional fallout, the aftermath of Michael's accident will leave ripples throughout Genoa City. For Lauren, the pain of seeing her husband in such a dire condition will test her resolve. Her love for Michael is unwavering, but she will have to come to terms with the fact that Victor's influence has put them all in grave danger. The emotional toll on Lauren is immense as she must face the reality of just how far Victor is willing to go to eliminate threats. For Victor, this latest move to eliminate Michael could have catastrophic consequences. If the truth about his involvement in Michael's accident comes to light, it could destroy his carefully constructed empire and lead to even more enemies. But Victor's pride and desire for control have always been his greatest weaknesses. Will he eventually pay the price for his actions, or will he continue to manipulate those around him without consequence? The final question. The fate of Michael Baldwin, the truth behind his near-death accident, and the repercussions for Victor Newman remain up in the air. Will Michael survive, and if so, what does that mean for his relationship with Victor? How will Lauren, Jack, and Billy navigate the dangerous waters that Victor has created? And will the truth ever come out about the lengths Victor is willing to go to secure his own power? The Young and the Restless continues to raise the stakes with each passing episode. The complex relationships, intense power struggles, and shocking twists are bound to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. Stay tuned as this dramatic storyline unfolds, bringing even more heartbreak, betrayal, and suspense to Genoa City. The stakes in The Young and the Restless have never been higher, as the power struggles between Victor Newman and his enemies reach a boiling point. Lauren Fenmore Baldwin's confrontation with Victor after Michael's near-death accident sets the stage for an intense showdown that will have lasting repercussions for both of them. Lauren's desperate confrontation. In the wake of Michael's accident, Lauren is consumed by worry and fear for her husband's life. Driven by the belief that Victor is responsible for Michael's suffering, she rushes to confront him. With a heart full of anger and sorrow, Lauren demands answers from the man she has once considered a powerful but trusted ally. Victor, however, is in no mood for explanations. His response is cold and dismissive as he looks at Lauren with a smirk, mocking her efforts to accuse him. His reaction is cruel and uncaring as he scoffs at Lauren's emotional outburst, telling her that he has nothing to do with Michael's fate. He orders her to shut up and leave, showing just how little he cares for her pain. Victor's threats and Lauren's fury. Lauren, however, refuses to back down. The pain of seeing her husband on the brink of death is too much for her to bear, and she erupts into a fit of rage. She screams at Victor, promising that she will make him pay for what he's done. Her words are filled with fury, as she swears to take revenge for Michael's near-death experience. But instead of being shaken by her threats, Victor's response is chilling. He doesn't flinch. Instead, his eyes harden, and he delivers a menacing warning. If Lauren continues to speak out of turn, he will not hesitate to kill her. The coldness in his voice and the severity of his threat are chilling. The man who once ruled Genoa City with a calm, calculating demeanor has become a much more dangerous force. It's clear that Victor is willing to do whatever it takes to maintain control, no matter who gets hurt in the process. The dark side of Victor. For fans of The Young and the Restless, Victor Newman has always been a complicated character, powerful, manipulative, and often ruthless. However, in this moment, his behavior crosses a line into outright cruelty. His willingness to threaten Lauren with death shows just how far he is willing to go to protect his interests and eliminate anyone who stands in his way. Victor's obsession with control and power is driving him to the point of madness. He is no longer the man who carefully orchestrated his moves with precision. He's now a cornered animal, lashing out at anyone who dares to challenge him. His willingness to kill Michael and threaten Lauren is a stark reminder of just how dangerous he can be. Lauren's response. The question on every fan's mind is, how will Lauren respond to this unprecedented threat from Victor? While Victor may have scared her with his words, Lauren is not one to be intimidated easily. She is fierce and protective of her family, and the thought of losing Michael has pushed her to her breaking point. Lauren has always been a strong, independent woman, but this confrontation with Victor will test her resolve like never before. Will she back down in the face of such a terrifying threat, or will she take matters into her own hands and find a way to fight back? For Lauren, this moment is a turning point. She knows that Victor has crossed a line, and she can no longer allow him to control the lives of her family. But confronting him head-on is dangerous, as Victor is not one to be easily defeated, especially when he feels threatened. Lauren's next steps will determine not only her future but also the fate of Michael and everyone who stands against Victor. Victor's desperation. Victor's behavior in this situation is rooted in desperation. He has always been a man who operates from a place of power, but now he is cornered. His empire is crumbling, and his relationships with his family are falling apart. Michael's betrayal has pushed him to the brink, and he is lashing out in ways that no one could have predicted. Victor's willingness to kill Michael and threaten Lauren is a reflection of just how far he is willing to go to preserve his power. He is willing to sacrifice anyone, even his own family, to maintain control over his empire. This makes him more dangerous than ever before. The fallout. As the dust settles from Lauren's confrontation with Victor, the consequences of their actions will become clearer. Will Lauren survive this encounter with Victor unscathed? And if she does, what will the impact be on her relationship with Michael, Jack, and the rest of the Abbott family? For Victor, his threats against Lauren will likely come back to haunt him. His arrogance and cruelty may have alienated him from the very people who once trusted him. As his empire unravels, the people closest to him may turn against him, realizing that his need for control has made him a liability. Ultimately, The Young and the Restless is taking fans on a journey into the darkest corners of Victor Newman's psyche. His willingness to kill and destroy everything in his path in order to maintain control shows just how far he is willing to go. But Lauren's defiance and determination to protect her family will put her on a dangerous path. Will she be able to take down the man who has caused so much pain, or will she fall victim to his ruthless ambition? The answers to these questions will have lasting implications for the characters involved, and fans will be eagerly awaiting the fallout from this explosive confrontation. The Young and the Restless has consistently delivered high-stakes drama, and the latest developments are no exception. Michael Baldwin is once again caught between his loyalty to Victor Newman and the mounting pressure to protect himself and his loved ones. His actions and decisions will shape the fate of his relationship with Victor, as well as his involvement with Jack Abbott. As tensions rise, Michael is forced to confront his choices and his fate in a way he never has before. Michael's desperation and his confrontation with Victor. The breakdown in Michael's relationship with Victor reaches a boiling point when he's pushed to his limits. After enduring countless manipulations, Michael finds himself at a crossroads. He's no longer willing to serve as Victor's puppet, and this sets the stage for a fiery confrontation. Michael's frustration is palpable, and his attempt to stand up to Victor marks a turning point in their dynamic. Victor, of course, does not take kindly to this defiance. The ruthless patriarch is used to controlling everyone around him, and Michael's challenge is seen as a betrayal. Victor's anger is swift and dangerous, and Michael realizes just how far Victor is willing to go to maintain his control. The confrontation leaves Michael shaken, yet it also serves as a wake-up call. He can no longer stay silent about the manipulative games Victor has been playing. The decision to meet Jack. After the explosive encounter with Victor, Michael is left emotionally drained and grappling with the consequences of his actions. Feeling desperate and isolated, Michael reaches out to Jack Abbott, hoping for solace and perhaps some guidance. The two men have always had a complicated relationship, but in this moment, Jack represents a potential ally against Victor's growing influence. Their meeting at a local bar is a pivotal moment. Jack, ever the strategist, is keen to learn what Michael knows about Victor's latest schemes. However, Michael's reluctance to fully open up creates a tense atmosphere. He's aware of the dangerous repercussions of speaking out against Victor. If Victor learns about his conversation with Jack, it could lead to catastrophic consequences. Despite Jack's persistence, Michael holds back, knowing that any information shared could make him even more vulnerable. This secrecy creates an atmosphere of distrust, as Jack is left wondering how much Michael is really hiding. Michael's decision to keep some cards close to his chest only complicates the situation further. The tension between him and Jack rises, leaving fans on the edge of their seats, wondering just how much Michael is willing to reveal. Victor's wrath and Michael's growing fear. As Michael begins to break free from Victor's control, he becomes increasingly aware of the stakes. Victor is not someone who takes betrayal lightly, and Michael knows that his actions have put him in the line of fire. Michael's fear of Victor's wrath escalates, and the consequences of his decision to stand up to Victor become more apparent. Victor's anger and ruthlessness are legendary, and Michael fears that his involvement with Jack and his resistance to Victor could trigger an all-out war. The idea of Victor retaliating against him, and potentially against those he loves, haunts Michael. His decision to meet Jack and share what little information he's willing to divulge becomes even more dangerous as the episode unfolds. Lauren's concern, as Michael becomes more embroiled in his conflict with Victor, his wife, Lauren Fenmore Baldwin, grows increasingly concerned. Having seen the effects of Victor's manipulations firsthand, Lauren fears that Michael is playing with fire. She's already witnessed how dangerous Victor can be, and she worries that Michael's involvement with Jack and his refusal to stay in Victor's good graces could spell disaster. Lauren's instincts are spot on. Victor is not the type of man to allow someone to betray him and live to tell the tale. Her fear that Michael is making things worse only grows as she watches him struggle with his loyalty to Victor. She knows that Michael's defiance could lead to consequences that neither of them is prepared for. Her warning echoes the growing sense of danger surrounding Michael, and it's clear that her concern is well-founded. The fallout, as the tension between Victor, Michael, and Jack continues to build, the fallout from Michael's actions becomes inevitable. The potential for Victor to retaliate against Michael, and those he cares about, looms large. Lauren's warnings may not be enough to prevent the inevitable clash, and Michael's efforts to shield his family from the fallout of his rebellion could backfire. Meanwhile, Jack's involvement in the situation creates additional complications. Though he may be well-intentioned in wanting to help Michael, his involvement could also make him a target for Victor's wrath. As the situation escalates, both Michael and Jack will have to face the consequences of their actions, and the fallout will likely affect not just them, but the entire Abbott family. The bigger picture, this storyline serves as a reminder of the ever-present danger that Victor represents in the young and the restless. His ability to manipulate and control others has always been a central theme in the show, and now, with Michael's defection, the tension is at an all-time high. Victor's wrath, combined with Michael's growing desperation, promises a storm that will affect everyone in their orbit. The emotional stakes are high, and the power struggle between Michael, Victor, and Jack will have lasting consequences. Fans will be left wondering whether Michael will survive the fallout from his confrontation with Victor, and what impact his decisions will have on the lives of those around him.